Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Dice Commandos, which is near the end of its crowdfunding right now. This is the latest from Gabe Barrett in the solo series. And as always, no disclaimer for these videos. We don't take money from publishers. I cover a lot of Gabe's games because I like a lot of them, not because he's giving me anything in return. And sorry for covering this one so close to the end of the campaign. I got the prototype right before I went on vacation with my kids, and I'm recording this the day after we got back, so I'm a little bit tired, but we'll see how it goes. So in this game, you arrange 12 map cards. You see these here in different configurations depending on the mission you're playing. So see, you'll have things like this showing the number and how they're oriented to change up the walls and such. And based on the mission, you'll have to do things with objectives. You might have to face off against bosses. I'm playing against a T-Rex in this one with some raptors backing him up. And you're going to have your little green dice representing Commandos. The different values they have will change their ability to fight effectively, to move, and will also give them special powers based on the value showing. And you'll be going against yellow dice, which are enemies. And these, by the way, will be the same size as the green dice because you can have a whole bunch of them on one square. Them being these big D6s is not correct. But the big red D6 here is the boss, and that is as big as it's going to be. And yeah, basically on your turn, you move with some actions and do different things. Then the enemies move with this little directive deck of cards. It's going to control where they want to go. And you want to complete your objective before the rounds advance too many times and run off the side of the board. And also once it reaches from yellow into this orange area, we're going to have 4 enemies on the board at a time instead of 3. So yeah, let's get into it. They've been rebalancing and working on some of the boss scenarios, so I'm trying Mission 5, Tooth and Claw, using the T-Rex. In the original version, you would actually have to attack him, but now they've made him unkillable, and instead I have to resolve 2 of these objective spaces out of the 3 that are out. And then I have to lure him onto this enclosure. You know, think Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, when they captured him in, what was it, Cleveland? And then I have to activate the final power generator, the final objective, and that will lock him down. So that's how I win in this case. And I get to pick which side I'm going to use for each of the 6 values of dice. So I decided to go for... Actually, you know what? Maybe I should do Explosives Expert. I'm still kind of torn here. The sniper can shoot at them from far away, but the Explosives Expert can put down explosives that'll like blow up the monsters or the enemies as they move on to them. Let's try the sniper. So I'm going to do the sniper, the Pathfinder, the Napalm Trooper, Seal Trooper, Slipstream, and Drop Zone Pilot. Again, each of these is double-sided, so you can pick however you like. And these are going to be the values of the dice. I'm going to roll them, and then you can change them up by taking the train action. And the higher die means that they move faster because their die value is how far they move. But the lower the die value, the better they are in combat, because both the commandos and the enemies roll a d6, and the lower total, adding the die value rolled to their value, determines who wins. So high value movement, low value combat. That's the basic idea. And yeah, you know what? Let's just jump into it. It's not a complicated game. So I'm going to roll my 3 starting commandos. I've got 2 1s and a 6, but you can re-roll them. I don't actually mind the 1 because I need it for an objective right next to me. Okay, that seems pretty fair. A 1, a 4, and a 6. They will all start on my first drop zone here. As I complete the objectives, they'll also get drop zone tokens on their spots. And when I spawn in new commandos, because I can have up to 6 on the board at a time, they have to come into a drop zone. Okay, and then I'm also going to roll 1 enemy onto each of the spawn points, which are these shapes here. So we got a 1, very powerful but slow, on the square. On the triangle, we've got a 3, and on the circle, we've got a 6. And because I'm going against the T-Rex, I'm using raptors, but you can also have berserkers and cyber apes, or the basic one, which is insurgents. And there's even more to change up in the game. Like every one of these cards can be flipped over to have special effects and locations on it. There are other bosses they're developing, a bunch of different scenarios, I think 6 so far. And as already mentioned, 2 different commandos for every card. So lots to play around with and modularly vary in the game. But here we're using the Raptors and going against the T-Rex. And yeah, just to kind of explain things one more time. So whenever I'm on an objective token, if I complete it, I'll draw a loadout card. That tends to always happen, and put a drop zone there, like I already said. Loadout cards are ongoing things you draw when you defeat a lot of enemies or complete objectives, and they'll give you cool little powers and things. But yeah, so I've got to activate 2 of the objectives and then lure the T-Rex onto the space and then activate the last one. And he's going to move towards commandos if they're within 1 card of him, so we have to really be careful of where he is. He also gets boosted in his attack rolls for every raptor that is nearby, and the raptors also get boosted, so all the dinosaurs kind of work off each other. And if you fight him and defeat him, he just moves to a random newly drawn card. You can't ever defeat him except by capturing him. Oh, and I forgot to say, you can also flip this over to have the rounds accelerate more quickly with more enemies being spawned in. So we're starting up here. We're going to have the event phase, then take 3 commando actions, draw for the enemies that are on the board, and then have a reinforcement phase if enemies were defeated. So we start with an event phase, and we got Commandos! During this round, you may re-roll your combat dice, both attack and defense dice. Well, that was cool. I don't know if we're going to fight much this round, but it's still nice to see. Maybe I can get a sniper shot off. All right, so now we get our commando phase. We can take 3 actions. So I can move with the commando up to its pip value for 1 action. And if I move onto a tile, they're called, but a card with an enemy on it, then combat immediately happens. Same thing with the enemies. So like if one of them moved onto here, we'd immediately fight. They don't have to actually be in the same space as you. I can also deploy a new commando to one of my drop zones. I can train a commando, which just means I roll it again and see if I get a different ability. Or I can do objectives if I'm in the right spot. So for here, I need 3 dice, so 3 commandos on there to complete that objective and do that power generator. Here, I need dice with a grand total of 7 or greater. Here, I need exactly a 1, which is not my favorite because they move the worst. So what do I want to do here? I could very slowly work my sniper over to here, or alternatively, I could move my 6 person over to here and then take the train action and just hope that I get a 1 instead of a 6. That's, obviously not great odds. Although the drop zone pilot's ability, the 6s I have, is to let the commando train for free once each round. Would give her a slightly better chance. Yeah, and to go through the other abilities, the sniper can, once per round, I can have a sniper shoot at range within line of sight, which I think they said is from a corner. As long as you don't hit a wall, nothing else blocks line of sight. The walls are these darker black lines if you can't see them. And since that's my 1 and they move really slowly, it's nice to be able to attack from range. The Pathfinder, my 2s, distracts an enemy on an adjacent tile. I draw a directive card and resolve it. So basically I force them to move, although they might move towards you. The Napalm Trooper, my 3s, can place a fire token on an adjacent tile. I think it's permanent, and it gives the enemies a negative modifier, a positive modifier for their dice, so they're less likely to win combats. The Seal Trooper can gain stealth. You put a little token underneath them, and when they move into a tile with an enemy, instead of the enemy attacking them, you just remove the token, and then they can coexist until one of them leaves the tile and comes back. Slipstreams, my 5, can move diagonally, which most people can't do, which is very nice, and you already saw the drop zone pilot to let you train to change your die values. All right, so let's actually get into this. So at the moment, the only one that's really threatening to my 1 is maybe the T-Rex, although they're not really much stronger than them. The 6 is going to easily die. The 1 can't get far enough to get to me. The 3 is probably okay, especially with me having rerolls. So I think I'm actually going to be very wasteful and go 1, 2, 3, and get my sniper right in the line of fire of everybody. And those are my 3 actions. Again, each of those moves was a single space because my sniper has a value of 1. Now I do the enemy movement phase, and I'm going to do in reading order. So enemies on the top tiles, then the middle, then the bottom. And Raptors have +1 movement, so the 3 is actually going to move 4, the 1's actually going to move 2. And like I said, they get a bonus. They reduce their die value by 1 for each Raptor on their tile or an adjacent tile. And I think that includes themselves, so I think they just get a -1 bonus on the whole. And then whenever I defeat a Raptor, I gain 2 Fury instead of 1. Fury being right here, it starts at a 1. It ticks up as you defeat enemies and sometimes from other effects. And whenever it gets to 6, you reset to 1 and you get one of those loadout cards to give you a cool ability. So it balances out them being terrible that they reward you a bit more. All right, so Raptor 3 is going to B3. These are going to get flipped as I shuffle them. So we look at where B3 is, and they just find the most direct path to walk towards it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to get here to B3. If things are equidistant, then I think you just get to choose as the player. Okay, next is the 6 yellow going to B1. They're already there, so they don't move. Next, the T-Rex. There is nobody on the adjacent tiles, so they're just going to move, and they're going towards C1. Well, that's away from me, so that sounds beautiful. Looks like that's probably going to be the most direct route. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, but now they are next to us, so next turn, if we haven't run away, they're going to charge in. And then finally, this slower guy over here is going to B2, and they move 2, so they're almost there as well. Okay. The final step of a round is the enemy reinforcement phase. If the number of yellow enemies on the board was less than, we had defeated some, the number here, then we would spawn in some more. And each one gets spawned into the spawn space that matches the current top of the directive deck, and then you discard that card and you change up what the next shape is. But none of that applies. We go into round 2, so we didn't get to benefit from commandos at all. Let's see what this is. Stealth Kill. During this round, any stealth commando may spend 1 action to defeat an enemy on their or an adjacent tile. Ooh, my Seal Trooper could go a little crazy with that. Like we could stab the T-Rex to make it run away and not attack us. I mean, or we can just get out of here, right? So let's have the sniper move for 1, Stealth trooper move 1, 2, 3, 4. And if enemies move onto a tile with multiple of your troops, you get to choose who they fight. So my 1 can protect my 4 here. And my 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She'll start working her way down a different way. And now the T-Rex is not adjacent, so he's not going to automatically charge towards us. But hey, you might find us anyway. All right, the 6 is going to be 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, I guess they would, stop right there. Okay, then the T-Rex is going to A1. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they didn't quite reach us. I don't want to spawn anybody in right now, though. Although if I deploy somebody, they will not count as having combat. Basically, you can coexist whenever you end up on the same space until, again, somebody leaves and comes back. All right, the 6 already moved, so now the 1 is going towards C3. That's just down a space. And they stop when they move onto the correct tile, or if they run out of movement, or if they start a combat. Okay, and then 3's going to B4. Oh, they're just staying where they are. And no enemy reinforcements. All right, what's the next event? Suspicious. During enemy movement, move each enemy as if they were a 6. I don't like that, especially with that one raptor over there. Oh, shoot, I have not. Sorry. Sometimes forget to move the round marker. So that's my third event, so we should be on the third round. And that's extra important because whenever I do one of the objectives, I not only get a loadout card, I also increase the round by 1. So we're really going to be kind of rushed here. Okay, but you know what? They can eat some people. I want to get this thing done. So 1, 2, 3. We are completing our first objective, which gets a new drop zone there. Increases the round by 1. Oh, I forgot. The T-Rex, whenever you activate one of the generators, attacks every commando on their tile and on adjacent tiles. I assume that if you win one of the combats, he stops attacking and runs away like normal. Well, let's get our loadout first. You can only hold 3 of these at a time. If you get a 4th, you have to get rid of it. I got a suppressor. I can exhaust and make my die for this combat considered a 2. That sounds awesome. Is that after I roll? We're going to say it is. Okay, so we're going to do some combat. The black die is always used for the attacker. White die is used for the defender. Here we're lucky because the T-Rex doesn't have any raptors next to it, so it doesn't actually get any bonus to combat. So I've got a 1 versus a 4, and with my suppressor, I should be able to win it. Yes. Oh, crud. They rolled a 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. An attacker wins ties. So heck yeah, let's use my suppressor and defeat that guy. And again, I think that cancels the rest of his combats. That seems to make sense to me. So instead of actually hurting him or defeating him like most people, instead I gain 1 fury. Oh gosh, I increased the round track by 1. I forgot. You don't actually want to fight him. And then I draw a directive and he runs, in this case, to C4. So I guess 1, 2, 3, 4 is kind of the fastest way down there. Well, that was something, and that wasn't even the enemy phase. So now let's do the enemy phase. I don't think it counts as being adjacent to them because there's a wall blocking it. So I don't think he's going to get the little special automatic movement. So we'll go to move him first to B2. Well, that's not great. He's hanging out there again. Okay, now we'll move the 6 to B4. So let's go in there. Well, that's right. This is around where they all move like they have 6, or in this case, 7 movement. B3, but if they're just doing these kind of moves, it won't matter. And I have gone through the whole deck, so you just shuffle it and flip it a few times to randomize which side is being used. And our 1, which is moving very quickly, is going to B1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally blocking off any avenue my 6 might have to get in there. Maybe I'll just let them die. All right, we go to a new event phase, and we are moving around this time. New intel. Immediately select a tile and rotate it 180 degrees. Ooh, what's a good one? This wall here is stopping us from getting there easily. Ooh, I could just move this. I like this. Let's move this objective just way closer to us. Yeah, that seems smart. All right, now going to my commando phase, I am going to use the drop zone pilot's ability to train for free once per round to still get a 6. Oh, that's right. No. You have to re-roll until you get something different. I forgot that's an important roll. Oh, 5. That's the person who can move diagonally, but where are they going to move? Diagonally into the T-Rex? Diagonally into the Death Raptor? None of that's going to be helpful for him. What I'm thinking is maybe I train the 1 and then move them and the 4 off, assuming I get a higher value. So let's try that. First actual action. Okay, they're also diagonal movement now. So that was 1 action. 2, I don't want them to, well, yeah, because the Raptor's going to get a bonus to attack. That was 2. But the 4, I'm a little bit less worried about. So let's go 1, 2, 3. If I win the combat, I get to take my last point of movement. So I've got the suppressor again. Not sure if I'm supposed to use it beforehand. But this Raptor's getting -1 to their roll. Again, is it -2? Hey, it's a prototype. Who knows? But with the suppressor, I might still win. Okay, so I'm attacking. So they're let's say -2, give ourselves the benefit of the not. Oh, what did I have at a 5? So they're at an 8, and I'm at a 9. So if I use a suppressor, that makes it a 2 once per round. That's great. So we defeat them. The die is taken off until the enemy reinforcement phase, and we get 2 Fury, so one more Raptor kill, and we'll get a second loadout card. And then I did have 1 movement left, so let's go ahead and move them there. And now we can both try to run in next turn and get the second thing going. Then we just got to lure Mr. Raptor Boy over here and lock him up. But we're doing enemy movement, so we do not draw for the Raptor. Not the Raptor, the T-Rex. He just goes, hello, and he's got a Raptor on adjacent tile, so he gets a -1 modifier. I'm a 5. I don't really want to win because it'll accelerate the round. So what did he get? He got -1. He got an 8 total, and I got a 9. Fine with me. I'm dead. And he feasted, and I get to summon them into one of my drop zones. And actually, I'm about to get this drop zone accessible, so that'll be great. Or at least I might. Let's see what the 1 is doing. Heading towards B2. That's fine. And then the 3 heading for A4. Oh, crud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, clearly they would go this way and immediately start a combat. I don't have the suppressor. They have a better value than me. This is probably not going to go. Ooh, or maybe it will. I was going to say it probably won't go well. Remember, attacker gets the black die. So even if we're giving them the -1, that is still a 7 versus a 6. Get out of here. And that gets us a 6 Fury, back to 1. And now we got suppressor and uniformity. At the start of the round, if 2 of your commandos have the same number, take an extra action. Okay, I should try to summon some more. See if we can actually benefit from that. And now we have the enemy reinforcement phase, and we do indeed have to place some enemies. So top of the deck is a triangle. So something's going to be summoned in here, a 6, and they do not start a combat. Not until they move into a new tile does a combat start. So you can coexist in these cases. I discard that, and the next one coming in on the circle with a 3 value. All right, we're doing pretty good, I'd say. By the way, besides increasing difficulty with that and different enemies and such, they're going to have a harder and easier side for each of the bosses, so you can really change up the game if you want. Improvise. Once during this round, you may discard a loadout to defeat an enemy on an adjacent tile. That uniformity is not my favorite. But also, I don't know if we're going to be adjacent to an enemy. It doesn't count as an action, though. But is it worth it to kill the 6? Probably not. All right, so 3 actions. I mean, here it's kind of obvious, right? I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 with diagonal move. Not that it matters. We need greater than 7, which we have. So for our 3rd action, let's lock it in. It's going to get us a new drop zone. A 3rd loadout. Super Seer. Ooh, all my commandos have +1 movement. Nice. Okay, and the round advances 1. T-Rex goes crazy and tries to attack, but no one is nearby. Not bad, not bad. So now we need to get 3 dice over to here, which should be easier with this drop zone being right there. And then we need to have the people there ready to turn it on while we try to lead the T-Rex to here. My God, how do we even get him there? Kind of need that Pathfinder guy to make him move, potentially. Well, we'll worry about that later. Let's move our enemies. All right, T-Rex is going to B3. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually not a terrible place for him to be, because if I can get him to go like that, maybe. All right, next is the 6 guy. He's going to B4, so very close to us, but he stops early. The 3 is going to C4. Which is where we are, but luckily they can't get there. Get out of the cage, man. That's not made for you. And then the 1... Oh, wait, sorry. That's right. They get +1 movement, so we should be there. And then this guy's going to B2, and they're already there. Okay. And no summoning yet, although we're going to be up to 4 enemies very soon. What's our new event? On guard. During this round, instead of rolling, enemy combat dice are considered to be 3s. It's going to make it tough. Well, this suppressor still might help out. I mean, I really need to summon in some more people. So let's deploy 1 person here, see what happens. Ooh, another 4. I like that for the, the uniformity action. But it has to be at the start of the round. So if I keep them both alive, I can benefit from that. So that was 1 action. Let's start getting them over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 actions. The guy could come down here, couldn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 actions. And we'll just hope they don't die. Well, that's right. We each get +1 movement. That should help out, because now the T-Rex won't run right towards them, thanks to the Super Serum loadout card. And yeah, if they both stay alive and I get 4 actions next turn, that will be huge. All right, number 1, where are you going? B3, doop, doop. Again, these will be smaller yellow dice, so they won't be crowding as much. The number 3, or I guess the T-Rex, is going to B3 as well. Oh, he stays there. Nice. And this guy, whoops, is going to B1. So that was 1, 2, 3. All right, and the 6 is going to A4. Well, that's pretty easy too. Yeah, I mean, they're being pretty innocuous raptors. Thank you guys for being so nice. All right, no reinforcement, at least not yet, but very soon. Double or nothing. During the enemy movement phase, enemies don't move if you have a stealth, otherwise they move twice. If I have anybody in stealth. Okay, so if I can just have one of the 4 spend an action, and I get 4 actions now, so that's great. All right, so let's see. Let's do 1, 2. That's 1 action. 1, 2, that's 2 actions. I have 2 left. Let's have one of them game stealth as an action. Seems to make sense. And I have 1 action left. Should I put all my eggs in one basket and go over here and just hope that the 3 doesn't move to us? It's probably okay. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They didn't even need the +1 movement. That was pretty nice. So we are ready to activate the cage. If we need to get Big Boy to walk in there, which it's not going to happen quite yet. Okay. All right, the enemies do not get double movement because we do have at least 1 stealth commando, if I'm understanding the card right. The A4 guys go into B4. Long trek for their 6 movement or 7 movement there. This guy's going to B1, staying where they are. The T-Rex is going to B3, staying where he is. That's good because I need to lure him over here. And that yellow is going to C3. Okay, this could work. Because I'm thinking if I summon in somebody like with really high movement here and then run down to there. I mean, it's a little weird. Do I have to get the T-Rex to like literally walk onto that space? And if he has 4 movement, like, can I have him go like that? Otherwise, like, what do I do? I guess I would need to, like, lure him down to here and then, like, lure him to here. A little weird. I'm not quite sure. So enemy reinforcement doesn't happen yet. But then, wait, did I move everybody? I think I did. I don't remember. I got distracted. But yeah, now next round, we are going to draw to 4 enemies. We got spotlights. At the end of the commando phase, enemies adjacent to tiles with the commander will attack. What? No. Okay. That's worrisome. So for my first action, I have 4 actions again. Let's do a training action to try to get this person to be like a 1 or a 2. Then with the suppressor, they can probably kill anyone that comes in. Okay, a napalm. I mean, that works. That was 1. Maybe for 2, I'll napalm this tile, because that's the one who's most likely to come down. Oh, no, they're not just most likely. They're going to attack. And I think that'll affect their attack since they're attacking from an adjacent tile, maybe. Okay, for my 4th action, I'm going to summon in here as a potential distraction. 4 is good. And then, so I don't want him to be here yet, right? Because we're thinking it probably wouldn't do anything to the T-Rex. So let's go like 1, 2, 3, and wait there for my 4th action. All right, so at the end of the commando phase, this guy attacks them. We'll have the napalm guy defend. So his -1 from being a raptor is canceled by the +1, if I'm playing that right. Who knows? Okay, so we tied. Let's use the suppressor and blow him up. All right, now we have the actual enemy phase. So, T-Rex, what do I want you to do? I kind of want you to go down or right, I guess. B4. That works. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay. So now, if we put the person here, if he just moves left in any way, we'll be good. The 7, where they go in A1. That doesn't sound good. All right, hi. So I do have a slight advantage here. Oh, and that's very good. They got a 12 -1 is an 11. So I killed that guy as well. Wow, they're down to 1 enemy. Oh, which means that I should be at 5 Fury from the 1 since I defeated 2 guys. All right, last one's slow. Don't mess up my plans, dude. We're doing well here. A3. That's okay. That's okay, I think. Now we got to summon a lot of people. On circle, it's a 6. On square, it's a 3. And then on square again, it's a 6. Okay, a lot of fast movers, but nobody too tough to defeat. That makes me feel pretty good. All right. Event. Surprise. During combat this round, your commando rolls are considered to be 2s. So awesome. All right, now unfortunately, he's not on the same tile. So if I go down here, I just got to hope, like if he draws anything kind of in that spectrum, then he might attack me. It's also like a billion raptors around, though. Still getting 4 actions, though. So let's go 1, 2, 3. And then what? What am I going to do for my last 3 actions? I can bring more commandos, I guess. To maybe like, I don't want to protect him from the T-Rex. I don't know. I kind of want to get one of those Pathfinders to make the T-Rex move. So let's do a second action deploying here. It's another stealth guy. Not really what I wanted. And let's do a 3rd action to deploy there again. Have some redundant. Why? I don't need forwards, guys. It's enough. And I don't know. For the last action, we'll get them here as an extra option. Yeah, the draws are going to be important here. So let's see what the 6 is doing. Moving to B3. So they come in. We shoot each other. Oh, but they get, so we're tied, actually, since they are here together. But they rolled terribly, so I defeat them. And I get a new loadout option. Special training. You may reroll your commandos a second time when taking the train action. Now, I like what I have. +1 action, combat bonus, +1 movement. Because I have 4 loadouts, so I don't have to take them. All right, the 1. I don't want you to come towards me, dude. B3. Stay where you are. Fantastic. All right, come on, T-Rex. There's so many things that could make you move towards me. Freaking yes. Okay, so he comes in there. Oh, wait, I have to lose this combat. Well, he's got -1 from that. Right, because if I beat him, he'll just run away again. Can I just is that good? That's good, right? Yeah, because they go down to a 4. I was a 6, 10. So beauty. I didn't want to survive. Sorry, Commando. That's your sacrifice. And then unless something crazy happens here, we should be good to go. Because he's right where we need him to be. Okay, this guy's going 1, 2, 3, 4 towards A4. Fine. And 6, you're kind of weak, so I'm not too worried. Going to A1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Yep, definitely. Oh, no, I defeated him. Didn't I? Yeah, there's no Raptors given bonus. Okay, then they would spawn back in, but we don't care because right as the round's about to end, we activate. Oh, sorry, it is 3 dice. We have 3 guys. They've been there for like 5 years. And we capture the T-Rex. Yay! So that was one scenario in Dice Commandos. Although, again, they sent me an update, so I don't know how these things will look in the end. They're clearly still working on balancing them, especially the boss scenarios. But what do I think of this one? It's quick fun. The big thing I'll note, since I've covered so many of these solo series games, is that this feels like a bigger game than most of them. It feels more, maybe not the Rise of Rome or Fall of Rome, whatever that game was called. That one's probably the meatiest of the releases still. But this one with the different boards, all the different commandos, all the different enemy types. You have extra events you can add to the event deck to make the game harder. All the different bosses, all the different scenarios. It just feels like a lot of content compared to the other releases, which is pretty impressive for such a little tiny game. I mean, this is actually here, I can show you. They didn't send this in the VHS yet, but look, everything fit in. You see how thin that box is? Just like my hand for context. This is a tiny game, so I think it should very easily fit in the VHS things compared to some of the other ones, but it feels like there's a ton of stuff going on here. I like the general variety of the missions. Now, we'll see if they all get developed fully. Like this T-Rex one, you could already see there were some rules questions in the Raptors, some rule questions in the mission itself. Am I playing things right? I don't know. But yeah, if they work out the bugs and make the rules as clear as possible, I think the variety in the units, the variety in the missions, that's all great. The actual turn-to-turn choices are very interesting. Now, it is pretty random which commandos you get when you train, if you get a new number that you want, how the combat goes. But the big thing is you don't lose. Your guys don't really matter, and more enemies don't suddenly pop up unless time runs out. So if you lose a few commandos and have to start over, I mean, this mission was very tight since turning on the power generators advanced the round track. But in other missions without that rule, you can have a few things go badly or roll poorly for a few combats or get the wrong commandos a few times and still fix things. But yeah, I think the ability of the commandos to change into other values, to suddenly have different abilities. I didn't use a sniper at all, did I? But yeah, to suddenly have new abilities, to change their movement. You can have somebody be a 5 and run really far, and then try to train them to be a 1 so they can protect other commandos. There's some pretty cool tactical choices in here as long as you are at peace with the randomness. And those can expand when you get really cool powers from the loadout cards. And there are a ton of these. Again, you can only have 3 at a time, so having as many as they have in the deck here, pretty cool. The events have some cool things too, some rounds are better to attack, some rounds you really want to avoid people. So I think this one is fun, and hey, they have a ton of references to Predator is the thing that I noticed. Look over here, right? Wasn't that one of the things the Predator recorded and then replayed? Right, the stealth kill that kind of looks like Billy, and this kind of looks, isn't that like when Billy challenges the Predator and gets killed, you never see him again? Sorry, I've watched Predator too many times. Maybe it's actually making a reference to Commandos starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as well. Although that movie was never in a jungle, but he did let Sully fall off a cliff. I do remember that. Sorry for making old movie references. Half of you there probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, Dice Commandos, pretty fun. Go check out the crowdfunding page to see for yourself and see if you're interested. Again, you have a couple of days to do so. But thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Steve Wren, Miles, Wayne Scott, and Casey W. We'll see you at the next stop.